What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael and welcome back to FudgeMuppet. Today I want to show you some Mass Effect Andromeda, and in particular one of the most powerful infiltrator builds that you can make in the game. Now in my first playthrough I played an infiltrator and I had a lot of fun. You pretty much just zoom around the battlefield invisible, shooting people in the head with your sniper rifle, getting insane damage bonuses, and then before you know it you're invisible again, rinse and repeat, all while having really cool tech powers, namely Incinerate and Overload to deal with armor and shields, which can get tricky in certain stages of the game. So if we get into the skills, we'll go straight into tech and we'll look at Overload. So Overload is great because it gets rid of the enemy shield and also just does damage to people in general, which is awesome. So at rank 1, you basically get it. You need this. Rank 2, 10% more recharge speed. That's necessary. Rank 3 is more damage, which is fantastic, 15% to be exact. And then you get into the choices. So rank 4, you can either go for damage or recharge speed. Now, personally, I would go for more damage. The reason I go for more damage is that after you get all the tech skill bonuses, you tend to be able to use Overload enough. I never really have a time where I'm like, shit, I wish I could use Overload more, and I can't do it, so I would rather just make it more effective and take down those shields, which are really annoying. Which then brings us to the next one. Now, we're not actually going to get anti-shield here, we're actually going to get charged Overload. Now, the reason we're not getting anti-shield is because we get 50% more damage versus shields in the rank 6, which is EMP. So we get charged Overload, so it actually chains to one additional target when charged. And this is a detonator, and we're using Incinerate against multiple enemies as well. So you can use Incinerate, which primes them, and then you can use Overload, which detonates to do heaps of damage. So then we go into rank 6, and like I said, we're getting EMP to do even more damage against shields. Now, if you got anti-shield, you'd do even more against shields, but I think it's just better to get charged Overload. We don't really need maximum charge. We already have plenty of damage and more damage against shields, and also, you know, you get 15% damage versus synthetics, which is just nice to have. But let's move on to Incinerate, which is the other power you're going to be using. So Incinerate fires a plasma projectile that does bonus damage to armor and inflicts ongoing burning damage to unshielded foes. Now, this means it's great if you use Overload, get rid of the shield, and then use this, but you may want to use it the other way around for the combo bonus, like I said. So you get rank 1, then rank 2 for recharge speed, then rank 3 for 15% more damage, and then you get to rank 4, and this is when we pick radius. We want to hit as many enemies as possible to get as many people under the influence of being susceptible to a combo. Then at rank 5, we can get impact, which is more damage, or anti-armor. Now, I recommend getting anti-armor, and the reason why is because, like I said, you have Overload for shields, but how about armored enemies? Now, armored enemies tend to be really annoying. You don't have enemies with shields that tend to be extremely tough. There are a few exceptions, but sometimes armored enemies, just general creatures, they're tough. So you want to take them down quicker. So let's get anti-armor. Now with rank 6, I strongly recommend getting double Incinerate. Now, the reason with this is that you really don't need Incinerate to be a detonator, as Overload isn't a primer, and at rank 6 you'll launch 2 projectiles instead of 1, and they seek separate targets, sort of like homing missiles, and the advantage to this is even more combo action. You'll hit multiple people with it, 2 projectiles with a big radius, and then a chaining Overload to finish them all off. Now, that doesn't really sound very infiltrator to me, because the main thing with the infiltrator is actually the sniper rifle, the weaponry, and the tactical cloak, which is what we're going to talk about next. So rank 1 lets you turn invisible, rank 2 more recharge speed, rank 3 more duration. Now duration is pretty important, but it's not the most important thing. But then when we move to rank 4, we actually want to get recharge speed. It's not so much the duration, although it is important, and I am going to pick it for rank 5, but the recharge speed. We want to be able to use tactical cloak all the time, and we've got that at rank 2. We've already got some duration at rank 3 and duration at rank 5, so that's heaps. But why didn't we get damage bonus? The reason is because you already get really high damage bonus from using this, and sniper rifles, specifically the ones I'm going to tell you to use, they do lots of damage. So you can see here, high gun damage bonus from using tactical cloak. We don't really need more damage bonus on top of that, because you're already going to be shooting people in the head. And it's much better to shoot people in the head by using tactical cloak, because you can use tactical cloak all the time, because you chose recharge speed instead of damage. But we're going to get more damage here with rank 6 combat cloak. Now, escape artist is actually like good, except it's much better to kill things instead of run away. If you want to just play that game, you can. But with Combat Cloak, you'll actually stay invisible for longer, meaning that your damage bonuses remain in effect during that time. So you can shoot someone in the head, then shoot someone else in the head, and shoot someone else in the head if you're really quick, and you will get the damage bonus for all of that, which is a lot. And then because of your recharge speed, you can use Tactical Cloak again very soon afterwards. Now you'll see why I chose these things later on, even more so when we go into the other skills like the sniper rifle one. But let's look at team support. You'll want to get the first 3 ranks for better shields, shield recovery, and support. And then at rank 4, we are going to be getting support again, just to beef us up a little bit, help us out in terms of our shields. We don't really need our squad mates to be doing more power. We're not using a tech construct at all, actually. Then at rank 5, we have team recovery or tactical revive. This is an easy choice for me. Team recovery, it just makes your shield stuff better. I know we're not using a tech construct again, but hey, using a skill point on something that revolves around reviving your allies isn't the most amazing thing to me. It's not really an integral part of the game. Wasted perk choice there. Now at rank 6, we can get defense grid or life support. I recommend getting life support just because you can use a power and then you'll just get more health regeneration. It helps keep you in the fight. As we've already gone very offensive, it's nice to just have that little defensive thing within this tree. It's more of a defensive tree, although defense grid would still be good. I just don't think it's as good, but that's just my personal opinion. Now if we go into offensive tech, you want the first 3, more damage from your tech power, better recharge speed, increased combo detonation damage, and then we have anti-armor or anti-shield. Again, it's sort of up to you, but I would actually go with anti-armor. Reason being, anti-shield enemies can be handled with overload, and they don't tend to be the toughest. You know, you'll have a sharpshooter who has a shield and then health. You deplete the shield, they're not that tough, take them down. Again, armored enemies tend to be tougher, monsters, creatures, things like that. Now, rank 5, we have detonators or anti-synthetic. I recommend getting the tech detonator damage bonus because we are using tech detonators with overload and incinerate. Then we have elemental tech or technical rounds. Now, because we are a gun damage build, I reckon go with technical rounds because you're using tech powers and then you get increased damage. Namely, tactical cloak. Use tactical cloak, shoot people in the head, getting more damage, then shoot other people in the head because of our choice on rank 6 of tactical cloak. And then you can use tactical cloak again. Like I said, you can use it pretty fast. It's not instantly, but it's pretty soon. And finally, in the tech tree, we have auxiliary systems. Rank 1 makes tech effect duration better. Rank 2 makes tech power force better. Rank 3 gives you better tech constructs. We're not using those, but you have to get it so we can move on to rank 4. Then we get weapon mass reduction, okay? This is going to allow you to have multiple weapons. You're going to have a sniper, a pistol, and a shotgun if you like, or you could use an assault rifle if you can fit it in with certain mods and augmentations and things like that. But this build can actually use a lot of weapons while having the 100% tech reduction. You don't lose that. Don't go over that threshold. At rank 5, we can pick between Enduring Tech or Impact Dilation. Now, this depends on how you want to play your build. If you want to use Incinerate and Overload way more, then you could go with Impact Dilation. But I really find the bread and butter is being invisible and shooting people in the head with a sniper. That's how you play an Infiltrator. So I go with Enduring Tech so that my stuff lasts for longer. And remember, Incinerate does have burning damage going on extra. So you are making that longer too, not just your tactical cloak duration. And then finally at rank number 6, we pick between shield feedback or omni vents. Now this one, again, not the most important thing. Auxiliary systems isn't the most amazing thing for this build, but it is a necessity nonetheless. So you can pick between having shield regeneration immediately when you use a tech power or having the recharge rates for your other power be better. I recommend Omni Vents simply because we didn't get Escape Artist for Tactical Cloak, so you won't be regenerating your shield when you use Tactical Cloak straight away. So when you get this, you can shoot off your powers and then use your Tactical Cloak, and then your other power skills will start regenerating really quick. With that done, let's move into combat. Now, some of the combat things we're getting, the reason we need so many is so we can actually get the 6th Infiltrator profile. So first, let's look at sniper rifles. We want more damage, more accuracy, better headshot bonuses, and then we move to this. We want spare ammo, we want clip size. Extra reload speed and lowered weight is not going to be a concern. We've already lowered our weapon weight in the tech tree, and reload isn't really an issue. Now with rank 6, we have damage and force or killing spree. This is one that depends on how you want to play the game. If you are a CSGO mastermind, you could get killing spree if you want, if you think it's working well for you. But here's why I think Damage Enforce is better, even though it seems like the more user-friendly option. Killing Spree gives you higher rate of fire, but your rate of fire with a Black Widow, which is the sniper we're going to be using, is already pretty good. You don't really need increased rate of fire. Your stability is already pretty good. I don't think you need more stability. You're already going to have increased stability from other things, and the reload speed, again, not that important. I would rather just shoot people and have them go flying, do more damage, and actually get the kills, you know? What good is a killing spree if your shots don't kill the target? Now, they will if you shoot him in the head, but some things are big and strong. More damage is always nice with that. Again, up to you. I'd recommend damage. Let's move on to combat fitness. You want more health, more shields, and an extra holster, which will allow you to have another weapons. Now, if you use consumables all the time, get consumables, but I reckon get regeneration, because I don't think consumables are that great, and more health regeneration is going to be pretty good as your character. Again, you're very offensive. This is just a nice little defense thing to have. You don't need an extra holster. You're using 3 weapons, which is already quite a lot, so we get heavy lifting to increase our weapon clip size, our spare ammo, and then you have the power cell capacities. Doesn't really matter, but it's there. Then at rank 6, hold the line or in the trenches. I say in the trenches. This build uses cover every now and then. We do get barricade in the combat skill tree, but you don't need it. It's sort of something that I ended up getting just so I could get the 6th rank of Infiltrator, like I was saying, but you do use cover quite a bit. Hold the line isn't that great, because if you're below 30% health, what the hell are you doing? You're not meant to be getting hit that much. Now let's go into combat tools. So, more combat power damage is a necessity, even though we're not using combat powers per se. More melee damage is always nice if you happen to use melee. Detonators is just a necessity here. So we have evasion or hover. Now, personally, I reckon get evasion. I use evasion all the time as an infiltrator, and because of your infiltrator profile, you actually cloak while you evade and dash, and it's really cool. You don't hover that much because you don't want to be out in the open all the time, but you can get it if you want. Then we don't use combat detonators, so we get aerial melee. Again, if you just happen to do it, it's neat. We don't get detonators from combat powers for this build. And then at rank 6, you can get aerial combat or martial arts. Now, if you want to spec into melee and do all that kind of stuff, martial arts is actually a really good skill choice to get. But I'm going to say to get aerial combat just because you'll get more weapon accuracy while airborne, more hover duration, all of that kind of stuff for when you want to do it. Now, I know you might be looking at this and say, well, why didn't you get hover at rank 4? You can. I just don't think it's the most useful thing. I just think rank 6 is more useful than martial arts. And if you do go airborne, which is the case because you are a maneuverable build, the damage resistance is why it's helpful. And you may be using it with your pistol. Getting in the air and sniping is not always the best because it drags your reticule down, but more accuracy with like the pistol in the air or something like that can be used. I do recommend doing that every now and then. But let's move into pistols, speaking of which. So, rank 1 pistols, more damage, more accuracy, now more mobility, which is actually just movement pistol accuracy, which makes sense when we get to rank 6 because we're getting unassisted targeting. Now again, just like the sniper, we want spare ammo and more clip size. Do not worry about reload and weight. Our weight issues have been sorted by the tech tree, and reload speed tends to not be an issue. So here is what depends on your playstyle. If you aim a lot with your pistol, then obviously get this one. You'll do more pistol damage while you're aiming. But I tend to run and gun. If I'm staying still and aiming, I use my sniper because that's the perfect weapon for it. So I get unassisted targeting from running and shooting on the go, in the air and shooting because I'm up close and personal. In which case as well, you'll also have a shotgun, which is really cool to use with a tactical cloak to just go invisible, run up and start shooting people and causing absolute mayhem. So you get the first rank for more damage, the second rank for more stability, and the third rank for more accuracy and spread reduction. Now you can pick between weight or spare ammo. Again, you guessed it, spare ammo, clip size, and then damage and force, because we want more damage and force. Melee is not the main focus of this build, so we get damage and force. It's really rewarding to send enemies flying with bullets, especially with the sniper, but also with a shotgun. Now we move into barricade, which is just something you tend to need to get. It actually is pretty useful. I must be honest, if you are sniping from, say, a cliff range, then you don't actually have cover. You have the perfect vantage point, but once they see you, you don't have cover. So if you want to use barricade, I didn't get it for ages, but if you want to be an early adopter, that's on you. You You get more power cell capacity, more duration, you get to use barricade, and then we arrive at rank 4. We can pick between more duration or more power cells. I personally get all the forward stations. I don't have too much problem with power cells, and like I said, I don't use barricade a lot. If you're going to use it a lot, you can get power cells, but I'm going with duration because I think that's a better pick. Lasting 40% longer is actually quite a lot longer. Then we have weapon feedback and power feedback. Now you're using this to shoot from. You'd be using this to snipe from certain places just to protect yourself while you do your job, and go invisible to get even more damage. Just a pro tip. But with rank 5, weapon feedback's where it's at. You can get power feedback if you're really playing a power build, but you may as well be playing an engineer at that stage. This build is really about sniping. Now at rank 6, you pick between regeneration and electric defense. I reckon get electric defense just if you have those cases where you do have enemies running at you. There's hordes of enemies, say annoying little creatures that are easy to take out, but there's so many and your sniper just can't do the job because of its ammo clip and you have to reload and it's annoying. You could just change guns, but I reckon electric defense is pretty nice. It also works as a good thing if you do have a panic situation. You're just like, shit, you can throw this down, hurt people who get too close, and stay safe at the same time while your damage is increased. Regeneration is nice as well, but get electric defense. And that gives us the 6th Infiltrator profile, which is really powerful. You have 45% more weapon accuracy, 45% more weapon stability and tech recharge speed, 30% weapon headshot weak point bonus, battlefield awareness, which lets you observe enemies through walls when using a scope, and pro tip, you can actually shoot enemies through some walls, and you have the cloak evades I talked about, which are really useful, but also look really, really cool. Now let's go into your weapons that you're using. So for your sniper, you're going to want the Black Widow, which is an ultra rare sniper rifle. Get the best one you can. As you can see, it does insane damage. Its rate of fire is low, but it's actually decent, and the max clip size is just enough. If you try out snipers that just have one shot, reload, one shot, reload, you don't get the advantages of the tactical cloak where you can actually shoot multiple people before you actually become uninvisible. The accuracy is really good as well, and it is a hefty rifle, but you can fit it all in with the other weapons if you do what I did in the skills section. So this is your main go-to, what you want to use. It's what sends enemies flying. Even if you get them in the leg or the arm, it's just a really powerful sniper. Now let's look at your shotgun. We have the N7 Piranha. You can use another shotgun if you want, but I like this ultra rare shotgun. It does a lot of damage and the rate of fire is pretty decent. Now the clip size is actually really good as well. You can shoot a lot of people with this before you have to reload, so I recommend getting this. Now guys, it goes without saying as well that all the augmentations and mods, you guys are smart. Get things that give you better headshot with your sniper, more damage, more clip size. You don't need to reduce the weight as much because we've already handled that in the tech skill tree. Now with the pistol, we have the N7 Eagle. This one does a lot of damage, but it has a really high rate of fire. The best way I describe this is it's like a one-handed assault rifle, except the recoil is not like bad or anything at all. You can really just aim this and shoot it, or you can use it on the go like I prefer to do and just spray it around and you'll actually kill people. It's quite a strong weapon. So there are your weapons. The pistol and the shotgun is negotiable, but those are some good choices. I do recommend getting the Black Widow. It is just my go-to sniper and I find it to be so powerful. There are automatic sniper rifles that just have the most ridiculous recoil and low damage, and I hate them. I reckon this is where it's at. So get a Black Widow if you can. Now in terms of your squad, you can really use whoever you want as this build, as you tend to be a bit of a lone wolf with support. Although I do like getting Jarl and Drac or Drac and Vetra. They tend to work well. I reckon just pick squad members that you like, that fit in with role-playing your character, especially ones that complement you or even contrast you. Like, I'm a stealthy character, but I use Drac because I go invisible and he works as a bit of a really tough meat shield to draw attention while I do the killing from afar. Now, whatever squad members you pick, don't forget to use the squad assign buttons so you can stay far away, but then send them into the fray and you can shoot people in the head who they're distracting for you. Obviously, it goes without saying as well, you might want to pick squad members that have biotics or just different things to what you're using. It's up to you. I just get a ton of combos when using Drac. Now in terms of armor, we're actually going with the Maverick Deadeye armor. The reason for this is more headshot bonus and weapon spare ammo. So you're actually going to have a lot of ammo on hand, and when you're sniping, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. You're going to be getting kills is pretty much what I'm trying to say here. It also looks badass. You look like a really cool bounty hunter kind of character, and it actually looks really good on the female rider as you sort of look like an assaultron. So there's your helmet. The arms do a similar thing. The chest also does the same thing, but you get 17% more weapon damage as well as the other bonuses. The legs is similar to the arms, and that's about it. In terms of mods, obviously get stuff that helps your tech powers and helps your gun damage. And that wraps up this Mass Effect build. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. I really appreciate all the support and love for these Andromeda builds. And on a personal note, I do not get what the critics were saying about Andromeda being bad. I think it is an amazing game. It does have a few issues, but they definitely don't ruin the game for me at all, and I absolutely love it. So leave a like if you enjoyed Andromeda. If you're new, subscribe, and I look forward to nerding out with you all again very soon.